Welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda, and today I'm going to show you the gist of it for setting up my counterfeit kit challenge for February. We are using the Scrap Room's January 2024 Flavors of the Month kit for inspiration, and I am the one in charge of the blog this month, which is really exciting. And I thought this would be a great one to use because you can still get a little bit of Christmas in, you've got some floral, you've got some fun activity stuff, and then that Vicky Boo one is really fun. And I love that paintbrush page, and I don't have anything like it, so I thought that might be a fun one to counterfeit. So for a forgery coming up on the 4th, but I did set up most of these three, but I'm going to try and set up this one on screen in real life. So you get the gist of how I go through my stuff. Is this the right way? No, you can do it any way you want, but I typically look for something that's going to match one of the papers and then use that as a jumping off for if I'm going to change the colors up a little bit, if I'm going to use the same kind of thing. The other thing when I'm looking through for one, I look for other stuff in the others. So when I'm looking for something like the snowman paper, I know I'm going to be in my winter to start with. So I don't really have anything else winter that I need to pay attention to. But when I'm in blue or in like a tan or yellow or in my black, when I'm looking, I do have some other things that I can pick out all at once. So for example, I have a blue piece of paper that's similar to this, and I picked it out the same time I was picking out the stripe for up here because they both have that blue background. And I set up my papers, I'll show you in a second with my blue, in stripes and dots, geometrics, solids, florals, and then others stuff as they come up. So if I have a lot of hearts, I'll put the hearts together, that kind of thing. And so then it's really easy if I'm taking a look and I say, oh, I need a stripe with a blue, I can really look quite quickly for that. So I'm going to show you this part. And I think this one's Simple Stories, and looking for like a snowman page and some of this, and maybe, well, this does not have embellishments in it, so I won't be looking for embellishments in here, but I'm going to look for things that match. So when I open up my winter, which is set up a little bit differently than everything else, I have all my winter scraps, Christmas scraps, all together. So that, like this, I'm not going to go into my scrap bin to look for a snowflake. So I just kind of put those together because it still matches quite a bit that's in here. So I do have this piece in here that is a scrap that is snowman, so I could technically use that one, but I'm pretty sure I have another one in here that I might want to use. So I'm going to put that to the side, and then I'm going to take a look. These I know don't have the snowman that I'm looking for. That one could kind of be cute depending on my colors. So I'm going to put that aside. And hearts, stripes. So the stripes I want are not quite, a little bit brighter, I think. Those ones might be fun. These ones are all pretty muted for what it looks like, so I'm not going to go with those. And then I'm just going to quickly flip through, and I think that's the one I want, but I'm going to look as I go. That might be neat to use. Oh, look at this one. That's pretty cute. It matches pretty good. I'll pull that one. Oh, not really reds. That's a pretty floral, but oh, these are cute. This is what I was thinking of grabbing because of the snowman in there, but look at the penguins and the foxes. I just thought that's going to come out. And then most of my paper packs I usually break down, but sometimes I don't. So, oh look, I have a full piece of that snowman paper, so that one can come out. And then I will include the scrap because I might as well. see what else is in here. Stockings, ornaments, candies, big tree, one, so some of these I could put in with my colors. So my colors I set up in rainbow, and then my orange and my yellows go together, and my pinks and my purples I store together, but the rest of it tends to be separated because I have a lot of green, and I'll show you my blue in a minute. I think that's probably looking pretty good for what I want. I don't know if I need anything else to set up like this. I don't need those, I don't need that. Too red. Let's keep Christmas one, but okay, let's take a look at here. Nope. Let's take a look at some of the coordinations paper. Nope. I think, oh, we will pull that one with the snowflake, just because it's like a cardstock. And then, okay, so that's all my Christmas, and I'm going to pull out of my Christmas winter. And I store them together because why not? It all fits in this Ayers case pretty nicely. So if I needed to flip it out for even, if I needed more room, then I would probably store them a little bit differently. And then you probably notice that my Simple Stories Simple Vintage isn't in here. I have it set up out sideways, like on its own right now as I'm playing with it. Oops. Sorry if that was loud. Actually, and I think I'm gonna put this one away just because the colors aren't quite jiving with what I've got here. So to start with, I have that piece of cardstock, and then I have, those are the same colors, so I'm just going to pop it there, these snowman papers, which are similar in tone but not exactly the same. So the next part I look at is the coordinating papers. So for the kit, there's these two stripes. So there's a plaid stripe and a striped stripe. So I'm going to take a look at that. And there's no saying that I couldn't use like this one with this stuff too. I probably will mix and match, but, or I could have like a blue in this kind of style, and I might throw that in too. And I'll show you what I do with this now with my blue. So here we go. So my papers are sorted, and then I have like an IKEA Kallax system, and I also have Recollections paper cubes. So this one came off of a paper cube. I'm just going to scoot that off. And then what I do is I just very quickly go through. So the top part is all specialty different sayings that I may or may not use for, but would be a very specific one. There's another piece of that blue, so I'm gonna put duplicates together because I want to do a double page. And then I have all of my cardstock, so I'm not going to pull from cardstock, but it's just all on top. And then I have papers that are read more of a solid, so I'm not even going to look at those because I don't need those. Then I have bugs and weather, and then it goes into florals. So I don't need a floral. So those are my bugs. And then all of this is florals. So I can really quickly go through and see what I've got, what I don't have. And then I don't need any of that. So I'm going to skip all the way ahead to my stripes. And so now I can take a look at, so there is kind of like a crosshatch one, and then there is an actual stripe one. So this one, if I put it beside, it actually goes really nicely with this. So I'm going to pull that one as one of my options. Then I'm going to look at this one, and that one actually goes really nice with that. I could very easily use it with this and that one. So I am going to pull this one as well. I'm just going to slide it behind those. Then I have this one. This could have went in with my pink or my green. I threw these ones in with the blue right now. No rhyme or reason, I just did. So that pink looks okay with this. But the blue's not quite the same. It kind of muddles it out. And then if I look at this one, that's a maybe. And then this one. Actually, these blues are really close and the pinks are really close. So I'm going to pull that one. And there's two of those to use with this one because why not? Nope. So now I'm just going to scoot this over a little bit because where am I clipping? This one is that crosshatch, and it goes really well with this snowman. So I'm going to pull that one. And this is how my kits get super big, is because as I'm looking, I'm coordinating with the papers I have, but also with what the style is. And could I stop there? I totally could. I don't think so. I don't think so. Nope. Oh, there's another one of those ones. I do try and put my papers together for color, but it doesn't always work that way. So, no, that's pretty. I'm going to put that one. And that one I'm going to say, no, it's not quite the right color. Those ones. That's kind of fun. Am I going to get like totally more than I'll ever use? Definitely. But it gives me lots of options for when I'm looking at coordinating a picture so that I'm not just looking at I'm just not stuck with what I've got. And then so it gives me like definite options. So now I'm into more of the geometric. So these are squares and a cube. That's kind of cute. I doesn't really match anything that was in the kit, but it's fun. And it might actually go, maybe not with these, but I think it might actually go with the photo play part. It doesn't have anything like this either, but it's fun. It's kind of graphic. That blue's fun though. That one I'm going to think about. So I'm just going to put it aside. Just these ones, geometric, and then we get into circles and dots. I'm not sure if I need anything circles and dot wise. And as I'm looking, if I was looking for like other things, I could still look at the B-sides. I've just picked the favorites and put them in that way. And then stars, dots, stars. Oh, that one's fun. That one reminds me of a paper in one of the other kits. I think I'm going to pull that one. And then diamonds and diamonds and diamonds. All right, so that is my blue all gone through. And then I literally just picked the whole pile up and very gently make them straight again. They get popped back on here a little bit straighter, and then I can put that away. And I literally just take the whole thing and put it back. So this is what I've ended up with for that part of the kit. So I've got a snowman, and a snowman, and a snowman and foxes, and a snowman and bunnies and foxes. And then I've got this one and this one are kind of like different, but I've got a stripe, actually two of them. And then I've got this crosshatch. I've got this stripe. I have this cardstock. There's a second one of those. I have another crosshatch, another stripe, and another stripe. So you can see that gives me lots and lots of opportunities for jumping off, for playing with different winter themed layouts. And I stuck a little bit of pink in there, and that's okay because I've got some pink and purple in some of these. So that is the gist of how I set that up. The other thing that I would do is maybe pull, because I'm leaning really into the winter, I would open up my winter Christmas embellishments and my stamps and stuff and see what else I have that I would want to make work. So there's that one, there's this. So that ends up being a lot. So I'll probably just take this open. That's kind of pretty. That might be fun. This might be fun. Red's not going to work so well. Those ones might be fun. I don't always go through all of them. Sometimes I just get a sampling and then call it good. I know I'm probably not going to do Christmas, but I do have some different things that will work. And play with some of these because that might be fun. And there's some snow stuff there. So I'm going to call that good for this one. So I did pull out a few things here. And then that just goes into an iris rolly cart beside me. And then I do have all of my Christmas, winter die cuts, those kind of things all set up together here. So I'll take a quick look here to see if there's anything else I want. A lot of these are more Christmassy themed. Oh, that'd be cute, depending on what I decide to scrapbook. Oh, these are cute. I'm going to use the snow globe this time. These are polar bear penguin. Maybe. I have a lot of stuff. Yes, I do. I don't want to lean into those ones at all, so I just think this guy might be kind of cute. I'm going to leave him for now. And then that also goes in my Iris rolly cart that's right beside me, because we can. So then I pulled out that kind of stuff in here from last month. I did have some acrylic snowflakes, and I think I still have them in here. So those I'll keep. And then I will go through the rest of the stuff that I pulled from my other kits. Well, I did yesterday, so you can definitely take a look at everything that I pulled for these kits from yesterday. I don't know where I put those snowflakes. They're probably in here somewhere. All right, so, and then I don't have a problem pulling other things as I see fit. Sometimes it's just, oh, I found this picture that I really want to do and the paper works, but maybe not all the embellishments do. So this is just a starting point for me, and then I can make it work otherwise. So spread those out so you have a quick little gander, and that's how I set up my kits for the gist of it. So thank you for being here today. I hope you have a really great day. If you're new to my channel, I would very much appreciate it if you liked, subscribed, and commented. And then make sure you take a look at the links below for the Counterfeit Kit Challenge blog, where I go into picture detail and just not as wordy on how I set this up. And on the Facebook group, you can see how some of the other creators have put their kits together. And yesterday there was a hop for the creators for the Counterfeit Kit Challenge and how they set things up. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you have a wonderful day.